It is now 10 o'clock. I'm calling this meeting of the Transportation Committee to order. Roll call, please.
Chaplin. Here. Colbert. Evans. Here. Ozog.
Here.
Tornatore.
Here.
And Zay.
Here.
Great, thank you. Let's see. No public comment today?
No, ma'am.
No, all right. I want to welcome Chris Rose from PACE. Thank you very much for being here today, and let us know if you have any input that you'd like to add at the end of the meeting. So I also now next move for approval of the minutes of our meeting of Tuesday, April 4th, 2023. I have a second. Any comments, changes? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next up, we have budget transfers. I move for approval of 23-15-22, a budget transfer of $400,000 from capital contingencies to engineering architectural services.
Second.
Additional funds needed due to the inclusion of a third contract for our annual pavement maintenance resurfacing program. I have a second, and any discussion or questions? Okay, hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thanks. Next, I move for approval of 23-15-23, budget transfer of $4,300,000 from transportation infrastructure to repair and maintenance roads. Additional funds needed due to the inclusion of a third pavement maintenance resurfacing project due to other capital projects being moved to 2024 due to land acquisition agency approvals and/or railroad coordination delays. I have a second. Any discussion or comments about this? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thanks. Next, I move for approval of 23-15-24. Budget transfer of $500,000 from capital contingencies to repair and maintenance roads. Additional funds needed due to the inclusion of a third pavement maintenance resurfacing project due to other capital projects being moved to 2024 due to land acquisition, agency approvals, and/or railroad coordination delays. And I have a second. Comments or questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thanks. Next, I move to combine items A through D. These are all low bids. Second. And a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next I move for approval of these items A through D.
Do separately.
Yes.
Okay, read. Well,
I move for approval of 23, 15, 21. I'm on my way to doing the right thing. I move for approval of, I'm just being a bit circuitous. I move for approval of 23-15-21, recommendation for the approval of contract to Red Wing Brands of America to furnish safety shoes and work boots as needed for the Division of Transportation for the period April 18th, 2023 through February 22nd, 2024 for a contract total amount not to exceed $20,000. No, all in favor?
No.
I keep reading now, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I move for approval of DTP 006323. Recommendation for the approval of a contract to Hard Rock Concrete Cutters for sidewalk saw cutting for the period April 26, 2023 through March 31st, 2024 is needed for the Division of Transportation for a contract total not to exceed $40,000 per municipal partnering initiative bid. Next, I move for approval of DTP 006423, recommendation for the approval of a contract with Monroe Truck Equipment Incorporated to furnish and deliver Monroe spreader and plow repair and replacement parts for the Division of Transportation for the period May 1st, 2023 through August 15th, 2026 for a contract total not to exceed $90,000. Finally, I move for approval of DTP 006523, recommendation for the approval of contract to Northern Contracting Incorporated to furnish, deliver, repair, and install guardrails as needed for the Division of Transportation for the period May 12, 2023 through May 11, 2024 for a contract total not to exceed $40,000. Okay, any comments or questions about A through D? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thanks. All right, item 7E, I move for approval of DTP 006623, recommendation for the approval of contract to Primera Engineers Limited to provide professional construction engineering services for the 2023 Pavement Maintenance North Program for the period April 25th, 2023 through November 30th, 2024 for a contract total not to exceed $459,579.18. Professional services vetted through a qualification-based selection process. I have a second. Any comments or questions about this? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. I next move for approval of DTP 006723, recommendation for the approval of contract to Chastain and Associates to provide professional construction engineering services for the 2023 pavement maintenance central program for the period April 25th, 2023 through November 30th, 2024, for a contract total not to exceed $473,055.98. Professional services vetted through a qualification-based selection process. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next, I move for 7G. I move for approval of DTP 006823. Recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to H.W. Lochner Incorporated for professional construction engineering services for the 2023 pavement maintenance south program for the period April 25th, 2023 through November 30th, 2024, for a contract total not to exceed $586,291.33. Professional services vetted through a qualification-based selection process. I have a second. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Thanks. Next, we have an amending resolution. I move for approval of 231577. This is DTR 0058A23, an amendment to DTR 005823, issued to Mineval Construction Company to provide parking lot improvements for the DuPage County Fairgrounds, to increase the funding in the amount of $75,000, resulting in an amended contract total of $428,014.45, an increase of 21.25%, no county cost, 100% state funded. Okay, I have a second. All right, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and again, this is the grant from the state election board received through the clerk's office for us to improve the vicinity of the county fairgrounds. We're voting it first. Okay, next, awarding resolutions. I move for approval of DTR 005923, an awarding resolution to do R.W. Duntman Company for the 2023 pavement maintenance central program, estimated county cost of $4,138,000 per low bid. I have a second. Any comments? Mr. Zay.
Yeah, thank you. I know these are all low bid, and I talked with Chris about this. My concern was we usually have different firms that do this. I'm just really worried about timely completion, that, we don't get into, hey, I can't get to this project because they're still working on this project and we have this project to go, just with weather and everything else. I've talked to Chris about my concerns, and I guess once you guys start going with it, you'll relay that to them, right? I mean,
Absolutely. So each one of these, we are treating as 3 separate contracts. We'll have 3 separate pre-construction meetings, and we'll make it clear to them that the schedule is per the contract. They are a firm that is large enough. They are pre-qualified for IDEF to do this work. They have the financial capacity and the staffing, et cetera. So, but we'll make that clear to them that one is not going to, one schedule or availability of subcontractors should not impact another one. And we have provisions in the contract, liquidated damages and the like. We also have interim completion dates as it relates to work around school areas. Army Trail Road, we're actually, for districts 1, 4, and 6, we're actually doing a lot of that work at night. So it will free up a second crew at nighttime, and it won't be as busy. It won't be as impactful to the businesses. So
I just don't want any more delays because we were delayed last year, obviously with the strike.
Right.
So we want to get back on track. We don't want to be, and with this new, with our issues with land acquisition, stuff like that, I mean, it's making it harder for us to do stuff. So I appreciate it. I talked to Chris, but that was just my concern that, we stay on schedule on all these.
Have we had this situation before where all 3 are going to the same?
So this contract is, because of the budget transfers, you'll recall that this is the first time since I've been at the county that we've done 3 pavement maintenance contracts. We've always done a north and a south. However, when we've done a north and a south, it has occurred on occasion that the same contractor did work for north and south. Bill reminded me 3 years ago or 2 years ago, we had quite a bit of electrical work, traffic signal work, and we had the same vendor on 3 projects. Okay, they bid aggressively. Depends on what work they've got for them or their crews, and if you're not working on the tollway or something, then you're available to the counties, and they came in well under. Under the.
Oh, no, I would,
budget,
yeah,
but
no,
also
I mean, it's low bid, nothing to do, but I just, timeliness, and there's some big projects, so it just, and we all love to get phone calls when, roads are torn up and everybody's complaining, so.
But we do keep track of when you go to and from work, and we put a lane closure on.
Well, I know, because I do drive the county roads there, so you always get
Is
that
that
call.
specifically directed to Mr.
Yeah,
Zay?
I like that, yeah. Oh, he's calling again. We must have a lane closure somewhere.
If I recall it, Governor Christie, there was a lot of issues. We don't do
Yeah,
that
yeah,
in
no, we don't.
DuPage County. Okay, so all in favor of 9A?
Aye.
Okay. Next, I move for approval of DTR 006023, an awarding resolution to RW Dunman Company for the 2023 pavement maintenance south program. Estimated county cost of $4,367,944.39. I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And I now move for approval of DTR 006123, awarding resolution to RW Dunman Company for the 2023 pavement maintenance north program for an estimated county cost of $6,288,300 per low bid. And I have a second. And all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Spring is here with the approval of these three contracts. Okay, now I move on to we're moving on to intergovernmental agreements. And first, I'd like to move to combine items A through
Second.
E. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next, I'd like to move for approval of items A through E. Item 10A, DTR 006223. I move for approval of intergovernmental agreement between the County of DuPage and the Township of Lisle to extend road resurfacing beyond county right-of-way on multiple side streets along Maple Avenue within the township. County to be reimbursed $3,366. I move for approval of DTR 006323. Intergovernmental agreement between the County of DuPage and City of Wheaton to extend road surfacing beyond county right-of-way on multiple side streets along Jewel Road within the city. County to be reimbursed $6,594. Okay, I move for approval of DTR 006423. Intergovernmental agreement between the County of DuPage and the Village of Bloomingdale to extend road resurfacing beyond county right-of-way and multiple side streets along Army Trail Road within the village. County to be reimbursed $14,225. I move for approval of item 10D, DTR 006523, intergovernmental agreement between the County of DuPage and the Village of Winfield to extend roads resurfacing beyond county right-of-way for multiple side streets along Jewel Road within the village. County to be reimbursed $23,674. And finally, move for approval of item 10E, DTR 006623, intergovernmental agreement between the County of DuPage and the Village of Glendale Heights to extend road surfacing beyond county right-of-way on multiple side streets along Army Trail Road within the village. County to be reimbursed $29,631. Okay, I have a second. Any comments or questions about these agreements? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next, we have grant proposal notification. I move for approval of 23-15-25, GPN 02223, DOT statewide planning and research funds, DuPage County Trail System,
Second.
Illinois Department of Transportation, Federal Highway Administration, $90,000. I have a second. All in favor
Aye.
of accepting this? Thank you. Next, we have a presentation, fiscal year 2023-2027 Transportation Improvement Plan.
So we're going to turn it over to John Loper, but just by way of a little bit of background. So he'll give an overview of what is our 5-year improvement plan, 2023 through 2027. This actually reflects the projects that were already included in the adopted FY23 budget. As part of that budget process, all capital projects were asked to do a 5-year look ahead. And so those are included in the budget, but they're not necessarily in a public forward-facing format. So John has been working at this for quite some time, developing the program and the presentation, the layout of the project. So he's going to give you an overview of the projects. Once we're done with that, so you have before you the PowerPoint, and you have before you the narrative for what will ultimately be the transportation improvement plan. We're looking for a recommendation from this committee to county board to release this program and post it on a website at our meeting next week. So with that introduction, John.
Thanks, Chris. I appreciate it. So the tip that you have there in front of you, the narrative and also the kind of the summary here through the presentation is exactly what Wendy's going to show you here. We really think this represents the kind of the best practices in transportation and planning. It certainly works towards transparency of project and public spending. So that's really important for us to take this step to get this out there for the public to review. So how was the program developed? It was compiled, as Chris says, from our budget documents, but furthermore, it was actually, we did a lot of research into documentation on the projects. So there was a lot of information out there in various different places, assembled all from, whether it's the engineering files or from, also from the IDOT records, what they call the PPI forms, which are basically the funding forms for state, federal, and county participation. So that's kind of how things were done. The projects that will be in the program actually are program estimated and awarded costs. They're actual estimates, I guess, of the project costs that are represented today. And the project schedules that are important to recognize in the program are really our best guesses for what we think is going to happen over the next 5 years. Obviously, there are delays that occur, in certain projects, and in successive tip issues that we do next year and the following years will reflect those changes. So what's included in the program is our capital projects, resurfacing, intersection improvements, widening, so on and so forth. What's not included, it's personnel, capital equipment, basically the operational and kind of the typical operational stuff, materials as well. Routine maintenance, generally our pothole patching, prairie path, and that kind of maintenance activities are not included. And then there are some projects that are out there that are awaiting completion, basically about $9 million of them, a dozen projects that are just waiting to be completed. So those are not included. Next. So what's included is 67 projects representing about $271 million of investment on part of the county. Most of the focus is on the state of good repair, over 25%, and then also a fair amount towards system enhancements, which are kind of a family of different types of projects that might include intersection improvements, minor turn lane improvements, things of that nature. We have quite a bit allocated to major capital maintenance. So we're talking about our resurfacing projects that we just approved today. So it's represented in the project list because it is a major capital asset improvement. Also Bill's electrical and lighting contract is in there, which is roughly $1.5 million to a couple $1 million per year. So you'll see that project represented in there. There are also 24 projects to improve intersection operation, safety, congestion relief, and ADA. As I like to say, I think there's almost all of our projects involve ADA in some capacity, in some way these days. We also include a lot of safety in our projects. So a lot of things are embedded within the projects. And so the projects that you'll see in the packet ultimately will include a lot of those elements, those various elements that we're talking about. So we have a lot of bridge projects coming up, 7, and then 8 bike ped, which is probably unprecedented. I don't think we've really had that many bike ped projects, in recent years. So, go back, yeah, thank you. So most of the funding is coming from our major three sources: local gas tax, state motor fuel tax, and also the state motor fuel tax bond program, which was through the Rebuild Illinois program. Also, I'd like to point out that we have quite a bit of federal funding involved. So our funding, our local gas tax, MFT, have been able to leverage roughly $31 million worth of federal funding in this program. That will obviously change from year to year, and we'll emphasize that as we go forward. We also have a number of municipalities who are participating, and the state also, roughly about $10 million in those projects. Next slide. So we wanted to give you a few examples of what the program elements, the projects will look like. this sheet here is one of the 67 pages that will kind of document, summarize what we have going on in this 5-year program. All of these elements are kind of compiled through all of the documentation that we've been able to discover for each of the projects and represent our best guesses, our best estimates throughout the 5-year program. So this particular one is Geneva Road Bridge. And so we selected this one because it is a bridge project. It has some interesting elements to it. In 23, we expect to do E2 represents a design engineering component. In LA, which is the land acquisition, there will be both of those activities going on in 2023. We'll probably let the project either late 23 or 24. And so you start seeing the engineering, the construction engineering and construction showing up at that point. And that construction is actually being paid for out of the Illinois Major Bridge Improvement funding to the tune of about $3.28 million. Then our participation elements, which are down here, county participates with local funding through local funding agreements. That kind of describes the project costs by the phases in the schedule. And then funding by source table actually shows you, how we're actually proposing to fund it. So here we talked about the MFT bond is being allocated towards that. And then we also have this federal other, the major bridge component to it. Thanks. So York Road is another project we selected out here. This is a really important project up by the airport, District 1. It also has design and construction elements. In this particular case, the tollway through an agreement is going to contribute $3 million towards the project in this one. That's indicated down here as a participation tollway. This is also a county MFT bond project. Next slide. So this is so various projects. There are quite a number of various projects within this. In this particular case, we demonstrate the pavement maintenance north program that you just showed. In this particular case, we're showing you this annual element, but this project for 2023. But we're also projecting that we're going to be spending about $5.5 million per year as we go through the program into the future. So we're showing that commitment on these projects. I was going to say too that in many of these cases, we actually have projects that kind of straddle the border of multiple county board districts, and so what we haven't done in this particular project yet is to kind of divide and indicate the amounts, in spent in each of the districts, but we can do that. And we'll be happy to talk with you guys about that. Okay, thanks. So next steps, Chris indicates, looking for your recommendation to the board to release the program online. We will be posting it on our public website. We will also notify all our partner agencies that's there. And we expect to post annually, beginning probably in the early first quarter of each successive year. So this is something that we look forward to doing every year. It will be a lot easier now that we have a process set up and a database that that's easily accessible. So we look forward to doing that, to making this part of the normal routine going forward.
Thank you so much, John. Any questions for John? There's plenty of questions, I think, but go ahead, Liz.
Just John, if you could break it out per count per district cost, that what was spent in each district, that would be great, I think.
Well, that will be difficult because, like I say, there, like in the Army Trail case, that it actually occurs in districts 1, 4, and 6.
Okay.
So in order to actually break that down, we would have to do it, we have to kind of go in and estimate it. But we can tell you about which projects are going to occur
in each district. That would be, perfect.
And then if you wanted to report to your constituents, you
Yeah,
could talk about the the magnitude of the total amount.
Yeah. Perfect. Great, thank you.
Okay,
Yes,
Um,
some districts have more county road than others,
yeah, so there's,
so don't feel
Um,
bad if you're not getting a lot of money.
Right.
Member Evans.
It's
You're getting a
it's
lot,
ways
you know.
away, but are we thinking about what's gonna happen if more people switch over to EVs and there's less fuel taxes being collected?
Yeah, but we've, Chris and I have talked a lot about that. We've looked at, obviously EV growth is occurring in DuPage, and it's been doubling every 2 years, the number of registrations. And so we're looking at that, and I think one of the things that this CIP or TIP, however you choose to call it, will do is that we're going to really cause us to look hard again at the long range, financials through the long range transportation plan. So this will kind of kick us into modification and amendment of the long range plan as well.
This will allow us year by year to incorporate as these changes are starting to occur. We know it's coming, but as to how it's going to impact us. This will also be great in terms of accountability and transparency. So John, really appreciate your work here. And thank you, Chris. Next, I'd like to move that we recommend a recommendation to the DuPage County Board to release the fiscal year 2023-2027 transportation improvement plan.
Second.
I have a second. Any comments or questions about releasing this report? All in favor? Okay. Any old business? Seeing none. Any new business? Hearing none. I move to adjourn. Thank you.